The Supreme Court came out in a case today, yesterday, and they basically said that, they basically made a ruling on Trump's tax returns. For now, so headlines came out in the beginning, like, oh my God, there's been a defeat live in the New York Times. President Trump has been dealt a defeat in the Supreme Court about his tax returns. And then a bunch of liberals went crazy, like, woo, woo! And then the AP said, hey, that's not actually true. They just temporarily blocked the public for now from seeing the tax returns. And so from the beginning, Trump has tried to block his tax returns. People would ask him when he was going to release it, right? Now, basically, what the Supreme Court ruling is, I can't talk, is, look, the Congress can't receive it for some weird reason, even though the House Ways and Means Committee, the chairman can receive it. It was made in the 1920s, I think, or 1930s, that they have the right to subpoena anybody's tax returns in the United States, which is crazy. And so I'm not sure where they came up with that. But then they say, now Congress can't, but the New York Attorney General's office can, which is very weird. And then they say, well, the public can't see it yet. I'm very confused. I am very confused. So, now Trump has been trying to block his tax returns from the beginning. People would ask him on the news, Mr. Trump, when are you going to release the tax returns? Mr. Trump, when are you going to release it? Release these papers, Mr. Trumpy Trump. I'm under audit, George. You never know. I'm gonna release them, okay? It's gonna be perfect and beautiful. I think it's gonna be as tall as me, I gotta tell you. The pages are very bigly and thick. Like Melania, but, just very good. I'm gonna release them, okay? It's gonna be very good. I'm gonna build a wall with my tax returns. In fact, I think it's the biggest tax returns anybody's ever received, I gotta tell you. But I'm under audit. But once the audit's over, I released the taxes. Well, it's been 3 years. I don't think anyone can be under audit for 3 years. God, you must have some really bad tax returns, right? But now he doesn't make that excuse, at least now that I've heard. And so then, right? Mr. Trump, when are you going to release some tax returns? Oh. I can't. And so there's a few things. One, this has basically set the precedent for other presidential candidates and future presidents, Republican or Democrat or Independent. Because they can go, hey, I technically don't have to release my tax returns. Look what the Supreme Court said about Trump. Right? And before, it was customary and tradition that you would release them, Republicans and Democrats, since Richard Nixon in 1972. It's just been that way. Well, all my liberal friends, all the establishment Democrats, oh my God, tradition. He's breaking tradition. Who cares? He's going to break tradition, right? But what the Supreme Court has effectively done is said, okay, fine. We sort of agree with Trump. We're definitely siding with him. But we're trying to be independent and play the middle ground way. We're trying to be like, oh, yeah, totally. No, Trump needs to release him. Which one is it, Supreme Court? You need to pick a side. You can't just be like, well, I'd like a cheeseburger, but I'd also like a burger. I'd like a vanilla ice cream, but I'd also like chocolate. We're like, you're asking for one scoop of ice cream. Yeah, but maybe vanilla and chocolate. No. Right? And so Trump essentially went out and went, oh my God, why did they rule this way? Come on. Dude, they effectively sided with you, dude. Come on. So essentially, Trump's going to not release his tax returns this term. He's going to wait until the next term when no one gives a shit. And it's going to be like, oh, okay, whatever. He released his tax return. Look, I genuinely don't believe he's that rich. And if he is, he got it from the Russians and the other mobsters. And, people are saying that, oh, maybe I got this from Kyle Kalinske, that he believes that maybe in the 80s and 90s, you had to be involved with the mob. And of course, there's been detailed reporting over a lot of Trump hotels overseas have been used for money laundering. So I don't doubt it. But at the same time, don't know. I mean, is he as rich as he says he is? I don't know. He won't release it. Is he a criminal? Absolutely. He's a dirty businessman. Come on. So look, I mean, I definitely see this. And look, if Letitia James gets it, great. But I think everybody should get the tax returns. And look, that's not my biggest issue, to be honest with you. My issue, like, look, if we get them and if it's really bad, then great. But I'm interested in issues that really affect the American people. But essentially, that's what the American Supreme Court has said. They're sending it to a lower court. I have no idea what's going to happen, but there you go. Supreme Court. They need to start coming out with actual stances. Not, well, we think this, but it's actually this. We feel this way, but I don't know. They sound like they're on their period, all of them. Not just the women in that court, but just Jesus Christ. Like Clarence Thomas, Neil Gorsuch, all of them. They all sound like, I'm PMSing right now. Don't even ask me what I think. Just do it. So that's the update on Trump's taxes.